Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. Very excited to present to you some technical and applications information on the Desono EX surface mount, which is the newest member of the Desono family. If you have any questions, feel free to enter them into the question box, whether get to them in the webinar if it's something short, or I will answer as many questions as I can at the end of our presentation. So with that, let's get going. My name's Dave Howden. I'm Technical Services Manager with the Loudspeaker Solutions Group, based here in Chester, Pennsylvania. I've been was with Community for over 2 decades, and now extremely happy to be part of the Biamp family for coming up on 2 years now. So the Desono family continues to grow. Very good looking, visually appealing speaker systems available for a wide range of applications, which we lump into our business solutions group, but these could be used almost anywhere. The family includes everything from ceiling mounts, pendants, columnar formats, so a wide range of systems in which to choose from for your next project. Today, though, we're concentrating on the new Desono EX Series models. There are 3 full range modules and 1 matching size subwoofer enclosure, and all of the systems and their associated hardware are available in black and white. A quick overview here and a quick visual of the EX6. These systems are designed to perform exceptionally well. Elegant, attractive styling and industrial design was taken into consideration, since the looks, especially in the environments that we work in, they really do matter and can certainly sway a buying decision. So the design considerations that went into the system were very extensive. As mentioned, there are 3 two-way models available and a subwoofer coming. Also, these systems have 70-volt, 100-volt transformers in them should you need to do a constant voltage system. And the subwoofer system does not have a 100-volt transformer in it, but integrates seamlessly at low impedance with these systems. They're designed to deliver extremely clear, intelligible voice, wide bandwidth from lows to highs, and exceptionally uniform dispersion, which is important for any speaker system in just about any environment. The system, not only do they have to look great, they have to sound great also, and we've certainly hit both of those points with this system. We've given them a very distinctive, but not too distracting looking diamond-shaped perforated grille on the EX series, and the face is clean. There's no logos on the face to be seen. Sometimes people don't want any logos at all, and getting rid of the forward-facing logos can make it an easier sale. But we still do have a very subtle Biamp logo on the edge of the cabinet that is molded into the enclosure. Some of the features, highly refined sound reproduction. A lot of work went into these systems as passive systems, and with the addition of processing, it only makes them better. But for music, extended low frequency reproduction across the entire series, and very importantly, very non-fatiguing high frequency voicing to make it easy to listen to these at close or further distances for extended amounts of time. The voice band we of course paid particular attention to ensure that we could provide coherent reproduction and dispersion, especially through the crossover region, which is where many of our competitors fall down with lesser designs. The aesthetic experience or appearance is similar to our I series compacts. If you've seen those, hopefully you have by now. Again, no front-facing screws, no front-facing logos, as you saw in the picture. A very clean aesthetic experience, which should appeal to the architects. They are extremely easy to install quickly and consistently. Now, the consistently part, comes from our indexing ClickMount Pan-Tilt or our ClickMount U-Bracket. This is a major advance over systems still using ball type mounting systems, where we are able to provide, positive locking in horizontal and the vertical planes for these systems. And it requires a minimum of tools for installation for this Desono EX also. And of course, they are indoor and outdoor ready. They are rated IP54 per IEC 60529, which in essence means you could place these in any environment. Well, they're quite at home anywhere you need a surface mount indoors for all the applications we know very well. These systems are ready to go into any outdoor climate also, whether it's, hot, cold, wet, dry, marine environments right on oceanside, or tropical environments with just constant high humidity. We took all of these factors into consideration when designing the EX series systems. They are available in black or white. The cabinets are painted from the factory, making it very easy for the end user to custom color them if they so choose. There's a lot more detail on that process if you take a look at the installation manual available at Biamp.com. The full range models are all switchable between 8 ohm or constant voltage. You have 4 different taps available for 70 volt operation and 3 taps available for 100 volt operation of the systems. The mounting system is always included with the speaker. It's not a separate part to order, and you choose the type of mounting system that meets your needs, at the time of order. You can either order them with the ClickMount Pan-Tilt bracket or with the ClickMount U-Bracket. The Desono EX, they are also very easily matched to a wide range of Biamp amplification, depending on your needs. For shorter projection distances, perhaps you don't have to power them all the way up. For larger distributed installations or installations, requiring to operate them at their full power, we have all the answers available, along with FIR DSP processing for both Tessera and ALC platforms. And of course, to make designing easier, these are also authored for Ease 4 and Ease Focus, which can be downloaded from the Desono family page. The Desono EX systems are point source systems, and unlike a majority of the market offerings, only 2 other systems come to mind that are that use coaxially mounted high frequency drivers in a product of this level. When we mount a high frequency driver, coaxially, our sound essentially emanates from a central source, and that provides us a very consistent listening experience, regardless of the listener's relation to the speaker or the cabinet orientation. A cabinet with a horn over low frequency is going to give you a very different listening experience, whether it's rotated or upright, or you're close to it or far from it. We have certainly solved that with the use of coaxial drivers within these systems. Of course, the highest sound quality is achieved when using FIR DSP processing with these. I'd say that every speaker out there benefits from DSP. Having listened to these systems extensively, I'll say they sound great either way, but we highly recommend using our published DSP processing, which can be found in the ALC library and will be available in an upcoming Tessera firmware release. But for the time being, we'll make sure to get the Tessera format file up onto Cornerstone for you. Quick performance overview of the systems, starting with the EX-S6, which is available and shipping now. It's a 6.5-inch low frequency system, which features 110-degree consistent conical dispersion across its range, especially into the higher frequency bands where other competitors certainly fall down. They are treated paper cones for the LF. We have no worries about their ability to withstand weather based on our testing. And the 6 uses a soft dome high frequency. 10 dB down points are stated there. Sensitivity is about what you would expect for a 6-inch. Relatively high power handling for low impedance mode should you need a compact speaker that has substantial output. Dimensionally, again, about what you'd expect, and relatively lightweight systems. The 6, obviously, being the smallest, has the smallest visual footprint of the series and is great for near-field listening or applications where you don't have to project particularly far. Available at the end of Q3 will be our EX-S8. Again, similar specifications, a little bit narrower dispersion pattern with the being an 8-inch system, and these move up to a true compression driver. I can personally say that the systems can be mixed and matched in the facility, even though we're going from a soft dome in a 6 to a compression driver in the 8 and the 10. The voicing of the systems is really seamless if you need to mix and match these, making the commissioning process all that much easier. A little bit more low frequency extension in these systems. Sensitivity ticks up, and so does the power capability for these systems. Again, all 3 full range cabinets do have the same constant voltage taps for 70 volt or 100 volt operation. Dimensions are about what you'd expect, and we still got a few to be determined, as this is preliminary information, but we're very confident in these specs at this point based on our extensive development efforts. The 10-inch, again, 10-inch low frequency, 1-inch exit compression driver, high frequency on these systems, and as should be expected with a 10-inch, a little bit narrower conical dispersion from these systems. Excellent low frequency extension for an 8-inch system. And again, for those applications where you may need a bit more output, or possibly using it, as the main PA in a more acoustically friendly environment, high power handling, and very high continuous output at low impedance. Again, a couple to be determined on here, but that information should be available before long. Then the subwoofer. The EX-S10 subwoofer system uses a 10-inch bass reflex design. Similar process with the treated paper cone to help its outdoor survivability. Very good low frequency extension for a relatively small cabinet. 45 hertz bottom operating frequency, and you can low pass it as appropriate depending on how you are mixing it with other EX systems or perhaps just other systems. Certainly has enough output to augment the EX series in an easily wall or surface mount system. And it has the same cabinet size and the exact same look as the full range S10 system. Let's go over a few of the mechanical features. Certainly, certainly some highlights here. The cabinets are constructed of a high impact polycarbonate ABS blend as opposed to just straight ABS to aid in the rigidity and the long-term survivability of these systems in tough environments. Internally, there's extensive reinforcement through ribs that are molded into the cabinet side to help reduce resonances, which color the sound. Additional internal weather inert damping material improves the low frequency performance of all of the systems also. To select your 70 or 100 volt or 8 ohm operation, the tap switch is located on the back of the cabinet. This is far easier to access and use than a very typical screwdriver adjustment. Just grab the switch with your fingers and select your operating mode or operating position of these systems. And it's very easy to identify what tap the speaker's on. It's a little bit tough, how many people have been out there counting clicks of a screwdriver while trying to look at a very, very small label. This will help ensure that you get the tap right the first time, so when the speaker goes up, you don't have to pull it back off and readjust the tap because you were off one screwdriver click. The selector is concealed and protected by the ClickMount after installation. And also another great benefit of this method is no electrical connections are exposed to the outside world. We of course include a safety rigging point on the back of the cabinet. Safety rigging cable is not included with the system. That is something that the customer needs to provide and ensures it meets the environment that the system's being installed in. And so if you're placing one outside, well, make sure you get an outdoor rated cable for it so we don't have rusty cables and great looking speakers. Indoors, a lot more forgiving, but all cabinets should have a safety just in case. We also have a spring actuated locking mechanism on the back of it, which serves to lock the ClickMount ingress plug or bracket in place, but it does require a tool to remove the speaker from the mount. Not something you can do with your finger, but certainly has many advantages in keeping the speaker in place once it goes up. I've mentioned weather resistance a couple times, so let's go over those details a little bit. The EX series is outdoor ready out of the box. It's IP54 rated, and we in the applications group field a lot of phone calls about weather resistance of speakers and our IP ratings. And the system is rated as high as a bass reflex device can be, but the IP rating only tells a small part of the story. The IP54, the 5 indicates that there will be minimal dust intrusion into the cabinet in normal operating mode. And that that dust intrusion will not interfere with the operation of the cabinet. The 4 in that rating indicates that it will withstand splashing of water from any direction, but it's not rated for water jets or somebody to come up to it with a hose and start spraying the face down. That's a different rating. So they can get rained on, snowed on, sprinklers in outdoor applications, no problem at all. Additionally, these systems said IP really only tells us about those 2 items. These systems are also tested to what's called IEC 60068, which tests for survivability due to solar radiation, salt fog, and chlorine gas. So right there, that should give you a lot of confidence that you can place these in almost any environment out there. We have minimal external fasteners on the system, and those few that are 316 grade stainless steel, which is extremely resistant to the worst sorts of air environments, be it salt or chlorine. Marine grade aluminum grills, again, 5000 series aluminum is used for the grills, which is highly corrosion resistant. And the grills also have a very well secured hydrophobic cloth backing on them to help repel water ingress. Water tends to just sheet down the face of it in those sideways rain environments, or it could be dust blowing. Water sheets down, most everything bounces off it. Again, minimal dust intrusion into the cabinet in any environment. And the finish is also very highly UV resistant. We didn't just leave these cabinets naked plastic, as good as that material is. We specially selected a paint to ensure the outdoor durability of these systems. They maintain their look for a very long time. All wiring connectors, input wiring, tap selector switch are protected from a moisture seal behind a one-piece O-ring. Water is not going to get into that switch or into the electrical connections, which can be seen marked on the screen, positive, negative, below the tap switch. The safety cable point is also 316 stainless, and the bracket locking and release mechanism is also internally weather sealed. As there is a little bit of space in there, we did leave small drip slots in the bottom of the release mechanism, just to make sure we don't have water buildup, which is important in locations where these systems may go through freeze and thaw cycles. We don't want it icing up. I mean, no ice, when you freeze water, it expands. So we're keeping most of the water out. One of the most exciting features about the system is the ClickMount Pan-Tilt bracket, which is just the best mounting system I have ever come across, or seen, or got my hands on. It has the same fantastic features as the existing Mask series ClickMount. For those of you that are familiar with our Mask series system, that was the first system, to my knowledge, that had a ClickMount system integrated into it, and it really allowed me to see at various demonstrations just how quickly this system went up and how easily this system went up, with some fun that we've had at trade shows in the past. Some of the new features on the improved ClickMount is we now have a tamper-proof indexed aiming lock mechanism. This system prevents tampering with the aiming and provides the ability, with a single tool, from a single location to adjust the horizontal and vertical aiming of the speaker system. And it does require a tool, a hex wrench in this case, we all have those, to loosen the mechanism. It's a patented design, and again, it builds on the great features of the original ClickMount. When using the tool, as you loosen the hex bolt in the bracket, it will first enable you to aim the speaker up and down vertically through the various clicks. And if you loosen it a little bit further, you are also able to pan the speaker left and right. The speaker will click into its various, or I should say the bracket will click into the various predetermined indexed angles. I mentioned previously the locking mechanism. This really can help serve as a theft deterrent, because it does require a tool to remove the speaker from the mount. Doesn't require a tool to put it on. It snaps into place. It's a spring actuated bracket. But for systems mounted in unattended locations or overnight unattended locations, this is a very high deterrent for both vandals or somebody possibly considering stealing a speaker, or just from changing the aiming angle. They just will not be able to do it. To release the speaker, you need a standard hex wrench or similar, and you pull down on the small hole in the back of it, which serves to release the speaker from the ClickMount system. Some other new features in the updated ClickMount, we've optimized the bolt positions in the centers of the top and the bottom of the mount, making it easier to mount to vertical wall studs. We can use up to 6mm or 1/4-20 hex head bolts, and there's enough clearance to accommodate the sockets of a socket wrench in that hole. Even after the fasteners in the hole, there's still enough width to accommodate that, again making it easier for the installer to get these systems up quickly. And the speakers can of course be mounted landscape or vertical from this single mounting position. There's also an integrated level, which perhaps you can see in the lower left corner of the image. Again, getting brackets level, it's one less tool you got to take up the ladder or up on the lift with you, checking to install the systems. And a wall bracket cover is included to hide the mounting hardware within these systems. After you get your cabling run into it, it's mounted to the wall. This snaps over it to provide an even cleaner look and not show any of the mounting hardware. And you'll also notice, you can see in the picture on the right, that there are knockouts on the top and bottom of the bracket to facilitate surface mount cable ingress into the speaker, but we'll talk about that more shortly. There are two sizes of brackets. You get the correct one when you order the system with the bracket. A smaller bracket, lower profile, matches up with the S6, and we have a larger bracket which ships, if you order it that way at least, with the 8-inch and 10-inch systems. Again, all of this, put together, ease of install. We've seen, a 35% time decrease per speaker installation, which is really huge because of the simplicity and the very well thought out mechanics of the ClickMount system. So I mentioned we have very flexible wiring accommodations within the bracket. We can of course wire through the wall from behind the speaker, as happens extremely often, but there's of course instances where sometimes you might need to do surface wiring. So we can wire from the top or the bottom or both. There are small knockouts on the bracket cover, which you can easily remove to accommodate the ingress of cables from top or bottom of the bracket. We have toolless wiring connectors, inside the bracket. We provide you a pair of positive, pair of negative conductors to accommodate parallel connections, and we use lever actuated wire clamping terminal blocks on these systems. So we're not messing around trying to get the right size screwdriver or mount stranded cable underneath screws. Again, all this little bit of time savings adds up in installations. There are wire path channels on the wall bracket backing, as you can see in the right hand picture, and the bracket will accept up to an 8 millimeter diameter cable into the system. So once your click mount is secured to the wall, the speaker, quite simply, it clicks on. Now, note that it always clicks on from the top of the click mount bracket, which is clearly indicated on the bracket to orient at the proper position, but it will always click on from the top of the bracket to the speaker, whether it's in landscape or vertical orientation. An example of the aiming capabilities for the S6, which uses, again, the small mounting bracket, our indexed aiming, looking at the top view on the left of it, we can pan left or right 60 degrees in 12-degree increments from the click mount. And the side view, that shows us that we are able to aim up to 24 degrees for those applications that might require that, or down up to 32 degrees. This provides plenty of aiming flexibility for these systems, especially considering their generally wide conical dispersion. Make sure when you're working in the modeling programs such as Ease Focus 3, when you're aiming your speakers in the system, that you're thinking in 8 and 12-degree increments so that it's easily replicable in the field for the installers. Looking at the speaker mounted in landscape position, we have 2 clicks to left and right, if you will, looking at the top-down view here, and we can adjust either up, up to 5 clicks up, or 40 degrees, or up to 56 degrees downward. Again, if you're mounting these outside, please don't aim the speakers up. That's not a warranty condition, and they will get water into them. Always, whenever possible, give them a little bit of down angle, especially outdoors. Indoors, we don't care. It's just not a problem. The click mount bracket, and the range of motion is very similar on the 8-inch and 10-inch models, but just slight, I think we lose 1 click in a couple of orientations due to the length of the cabinet using the larger click mount bracket. But take a look at the installation guide online for more information on that. So click mount bracket, awesome piece, love it. It's going to save you time, save you energy, save you frustration, and allow you to easily get a system installed, set up, looking great quickly. But Sometimes we need additional options. You know, we need to place a speaker under an overhang, or perhaps we're bolting it, you know, directly to steel or dropping it down on threaded rod. You know, what if we need to put a speaker on a pole? As great as a click mount is, you know, you could probably figure out a way to accommodate that, but mounting it on top of a roof, yeah, probably not going to work out so well. So we've come up with the ClickMount U-Bracket, which uses the same indexing aiming as the ClickMount Pan-Tilt bracket to accommodate those other sorts of installation scenarios. Again, indexing teeth provide that, you know, easy to achieve, you know, repeatable aiming for the systems once you get the speaker into the yoke. We have 10 degrees per click, plus or minus 100 degree range, and the bracket, like the rest of the system, is ready to go outside. So it's constructed of marine grade aluminum. The same, you know, 5000 series marine grade aluminum as the grill is, and they are powder coated the same color as the cabinet that you purchase them with. You can see the indents in the bracket on the edges highlighted, showing where the clicks are. So whether we need to mount the speaker, you know, above in either of these orientations, you know, or the speaker itself is oriented above the bracket or below the bracket to facilitate under roof or eave mounting or under portico-shares, there's no surface that we cannot easily mount to with the ClickMount U-Bracket. There's also a reinforcing channel built into the back of the bracket. You can see that in this image, which goes a long ways to reduce flex. But in the end, outdoors, don't aim the speakers upward. They don't like that. So ClickMount U-Bracket, a feature of the system is there's a removable locking cover. Now, this cover isn't included if you order the system with the U-Bracket or the -UB version, but just you know, to show you the difference. If you ordered with a standard ClickMount bracket for, you know, pan tilt, that cover is already on there. If you order it with a U-Bracket, we're not going to ship that cover. It's less waste, stuff that you don't have to throw away, so we don't even include it when you order it with the U-Bracket system. And underneath that cover is a brass M10 fastener for us to secure it to. Again, the bracket is as low profile as possible. The slight taper to the cabinets, when you're looking at the cabinet face on, you don't even see the mounting system. So another win for you know, for those with a critical eye and to keep the pretty committee happy. Using the ClickMount U-Bracket, we have the same fast installation workflow. Hand loosen the fast install knobs, which were included with the U-Bracket. The speaker slides into the U-Bracket, generally facing up, and then rotate it to the position that you desire with the hand screws finger tight. And it's also notable there's no through hole. You cannot actually get into the cabinet, or I should say water cannot get into the cabinet through those mounting points. They have a bottom to them. So the brass fitting was also designed with outdoor use in mind, whether it's being utilized with the ClickMount bracket or with the U-Bracket system. You can find more detailed information on this inside the installation guide, but you can use a bolt in it up to 20 millimeters deep, but use the ones that are included and no problem anytime. Just place it in with the fast install knobs slightly loose. Click to aim, hand tighten, and then get out your hex key, which inserts in the middle of the bracket to tighten it down and lock it into position. Very easy, very fast process for these systems. The ingress for these is obviously going to be different. So, we created the ClickPlug. It's got the same toolless wiring and theft deterrent features as the ClickMount we just talked about. Lever action terminals inside, the ability to parallel connections inside the system, and it has an integrated gland nut for all-weather installations. A few details on the included gland nut, cable diameters, which it will accommodate. More information again on this within the installation manual if you need it to figure out the proper or the allowable wire gauges for straight wiring or for pass through to adjacent systems. So ClickMount U-Bracket. We simply attach after we've wired it up. Attach your pre-wired ClickMount to the rear of the speaker, whether it's in portrait or landscape orientation. Again, the top of the plug does have a way that it wants to go in there. You can install it in three different orientations, but we'll encourage you to not orient the ClickMount plug so that it could potentially interfere with the safety rigging point on the back of the cabinet. So, as I mentioned, we've got the U-Bracket, we've got the ClickMount. It's an included accessory if needed. Or you can just get the standard ClickMount. When ordering, you need to order the -CM version of your Desono EX system or the -UB, and it will come with all of the accessories that you need to achieve your application. We also do sell the ClickMount and the bracket as separate accessory items for perhaps those folks that want to, keep a stock of Desonos on the shelf, and they may have to, maybe they have to convert one to use, using a U-Bracket or a ClickMount, depending on their inventory levels at the time. So you can order them as a separate accessory, but they are always in the box when you order them from the factory. This results in no unused parts to throw away, and you're never going to forget the bracket, or it's never going to be in a separate box that gets separated on the job site or in transit. It's always going to be in the box with the system, which makes it easy to install the bracket and wiring pre-installation, perhaps before the painters, perhaps after. Supply a plastic bag to go over the bracket if you're mounting ahead of time to keep paint off of it. We chose not to include plastic bags because our experience is they usually just get wasted, and we don't want to waste plastic, especially in this day and age. So bring your baggies if you know that there's going to be painting going on over these before the speaker actually gets mounted to the system. Both are weather resistant, as mentioned, easy to mount, easy to pre-wire, protect them if the painters are coming next. And they're obviously a color match to the system that you order. Some additional details. They're regulatory compliance ready. The entire EX series is the full range. The full range models have EN 5424 pending, and also ISO for the rest of the world. They're also UL 1480A compliant for the USA, and for our friends in Canada, they carry the CSA rating, which is also pending, but we anticipate that probably by third quarter or so. But we'll have no problem getting into a lot more applications with these ratings globally. They're designed for primarily distributed applications indoors. Sure, you can use two left and right of a monitor in a meeting room or something like that, but thinking of bigger spaces, presentation spaces, bars, restaurants, pubs, multi-purpose rooms, uh, sports, sports gyms, activity centers, and even worship spaces. Assuming that the applications demand a wide dispersion speaker, and a wide dispersion speaker is appropriate for the projection distance and the room acoustics. You probably don't want to try and place a couple of these 6 inches at the front of a room when you're projecting, 15 meters, 50 feet when it's a 4-second reverb time. So we still have to respect the physics of the spaces we put them into. I think we'll also find these systems augmenting larger systems in auditoriums and theater or worship type spaces. The possibilities are just about endless. Outdoors, you could place them with confidence in any sort of an outdoor environment, any sort of themed environment. They could go in smaller amphitheaters as fill speakers, or fill speakers in sporting facilities, under balconies, suites, the VIP rooms, potentially concourses if you have high enough density and the acoustics allow for it. Or just distributed audio in public spaces of circulation. Think your town centers or walkways, boardwalks, ocean, whether they're oceanside or inland. There's a lot of different applications due to all the design thought that went into these systems, which they will work great in. Let's just take a few, just a quick look at some applications that I whipped up for these systems. Showing an indoor application here, where the systems are being used as stage lip fills. Use the EX-S6s. Relatively short distance, or supporting some larger speaker systems within the space, but we want to help provide some localization by mounting them in the stage lip. And the EX-S6 could be ideal for supporting a larger I series system at a very effective price point. We could also use them as under balcony fills. Kind of an odd perspective I gave you on this here, but it was late. On the left-hand side picture, we show 4 speakers with sort of red marks in them. Those are my under balcony fill speakers, and then 3 blue highlighted ones, which, due to the relatively short distance, maybe an EX-S8 or an S10 would be appropriate for reinforcing the balcony in an acoustically friendly room. So they're flown up high. The low-profile EX-S6s are in a landscape orientation, obviously using a mounting yoke for under balcony fills for a higher quality experience than you would typically get with ceiling speakers, and a lot less installation labor, most likely. Lounges, whether it's indoors or outdoors, simple to fill an area with ambience and background music, or possibly closer to foreground music. All depends on the needs of the space. These systems I show as an example mounted in a vertical orientation using the ClickMount 24-degree down tilt. The very wide dispersion of the S6, lends itself to covering, pretty wide amount of space with a single system. Could also be a cafeteria. What sort of cafeteria? Well, any sort of cafeteria. It could also be the all hands space in some places, but the applications for surface mount speakers are really endless, and they're very easy to integrate into almost any environment. And with their great looks and being easily field paintable, they're easy to integrate into almost any environment that you can imagine. Outdoors, Could be the pool at a high-end hotel or a water park. There, speakers up on poles. If in this example here, we can see all the lounge chairs around the pool, providing background music and possibly paging needs as needed for this type of a facility. Hopefully, we get the speakers up to the appropriate height for the projection distance. In this case, pole mounting, it's highly likely we'd be using them in landscape positions, so we can tilt the speaker up and down, and the pole would have an appropriate system on it in order to support the speaker safely, and also another position for the safety cable, especially in these outdoor environments. Another quick example, an outdoor shopping plaza. You get the mapping on this one because the screen looked very cluttered, just showing a whole bunch of coverage angles. But with these, town centers and outdoor shopping districts and such, and this could easily be configured a lot of different ways. But I just distributed the speakers about 14 meters apart, and it is able to get very even coverage from about a 4-meter mounting height, just to add ambiance to these higher end outdoor shopping facilities. So very easy to implement. A quick scale here for this, it's about 460 feet across from the left-hand speaker at the center to the far right-hand side, or 140 meters. But see a lot more of these outdoor facilities, and obviously this would translate well to indoors, an indoor shopping facility, or somewhere with long aisles and lots of stores. Yes, distribute them on the walls, maybe alternate them side to side. You get the idea, though. So we do have a number of systems within the Desono series that lend themselves to these surface mount applications. We have the mask series, which originally used the ClickMount system. They're very cost-effective systems for generally lower output BGM. Our DS series, higher output for a bit more demanding performance in AV applications, but they don't have the low frequency extension that the EX series does, which we do position as our premium offering, that whether it's voice, speech, or a mixture of speech, or paging, especially with all of its safety certifications that are forthcoming. A lot of applications for these systems. In the end, the EX series ticks all the boxes, whether you want BGM with great low frequency extension from the single cabinet, or you add the 10-inch subwoofer to the system. Certainly get loud enough for foreground applications. They have high power handling, especially at low impedance when you do need high SPL. All three of these systems are outdoor ready. Very attractive systems, like the Mask series also is, and the Mask and the EX series also have the indexed aiming system. But a real bonus of the EX series, which expands the applications which it can be easily integrated into, is the ClickMount U-Bracket. So as a quick overview here, four models of systems: the EX-S6 currently shipping, end of Q3 for the 8 and 10-inch models. They look great, sound great. I can personally attest to that. Outdoor ready, and outdoor was not an afterthought with these systems. The coaxial design for very consistent listening for all the reasons stated previously. They're black and white painted cabinets, so they're easy for a contractor to field paint to match the environment. The new ClickMount Pan-Tilt bracket with the additional features and more resistant to tampering with and for theft. And we talked a lot about the U-Bracket, which simplifies a lot of different installation scenarios. You can find a lot more information on the Desono page on Biamp.com. Especially, I've referred to a number of times the installation manual for a lot of great detail, as well as you're able to download the ease focus file under the mechanical and acoustical, as well as find all the pertinent drawings for the system. That's all I have for today. I anticipate that I will be presenting again once the full series is available and we get some more questions and application ideas. I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to join me today to go over the Desono EX series. We're very excited that the 6s are shipping. And again, we expect end of Q3, we will be shipping the 8s and the 10s, and I'll probably have a bit more to say about them at that time. My contact information is on the screen, or you can reach the application support group anytime at support@biamp.com.